Right now, stop scrolling because what I'm about to say could directly affect the money you depend on every single month. There are quiet changes happening to SSI and SSDI payments in the United States, and most people won't notice them until their check is smaller, delayed, or suddenly doesn't stretch as far as it used to. This isn't rumor or fear bait. It's real updates, payment shifts, and policy pressures that are already building. And if you rely on SSI or SSDI, this information is for you, not for everyone else on the internet. If you're someone who counts on these benefits to pay rent, buy groceries, or cover medical needs, then this channel was made for you. Here, we focus only on SSI and SSDI payment updates, upcoming changes, cost of living adjustments, eligibility rules, and the pension-style crises affecting beneficiaries across the United States. We don't waste time on unrelated news, and we don't talk over your head. Every video is designed to help you understand what's changing, what's coming next, and how to protect your monthly income. So if you want to stay ahead of payment updates, avoid surprises, and make sure you never miss critical SSI or SSDI news, subscribe now and stay with us until the end of this video. This channel is for people who depend on these benefits, and every update we share is meant to help you feel informed, prepared, and a little more secure about the future. Right now, something important is happening quietly, and most people won't realize it until it's too late. Social Security is changing, and the window to prepare before 2026 is closing faster than you think. For decades, millions of Americans have built their retirement plans around Social Security, trusting that the rules they understood would still apply when they finally needed their checks. But behind the scenes, adjustments are already in motion, and while none of them arrive with flashing warning signs, together they can reshape how much money ends up in your pocket each month. If you assume you can deal with it later, you may be locking yourself into decisions that can't be undone once 2026 arrives. For many people, the biggest misunderstanding is thinking Social Security only changes when Congress passes a dramatic reform bill. In reality, the system evolves quietly through inflation adjustments, income thresholds, tax rules, and eligibility calculations that shift year by year. By the time 2026 arrives, several of these moving parts will be fully in place, and the choices you make now will determine whether those changes work for you or against you. This is especially critical if you're already retired, planning to retire soon, or even if retirement still feels a few years away but your earnings are peaking right now. One of the most overlooked changes involves how your benefits are calculated based on your earnings history. Social Security uses your highest 35 years of earnings, adjusted for inflation, to determine your monthly check. That sounds simple, but here's where timing matters. If you're still working and having some of your highest earning years right now, the years just before 2026 could replace much lower earning years from earlier in your career. That can permanently raise your benefit, but only if you keep working or earning enough to push those lower years out of the calculation. Once you stop working and your earnings history is locked in, there's no second chance to improve that average. At the same time, many people don't realize how inflation adjustments really work. Cost of living increases are meant to protect purchasing power, but they don't always match real-life expenses, especially for retirees who spend more on healthcare, housing, and utilities. Even when benefits go up on paper, rising Medicare premiums and other deductions can quietly eat into that increase. As 2026 approaches, these offsets matter more than ever because even small differences compound over time. A decision that reduces your monthly benefit by a few dollars today can turn into thousands of dollars lost over a typical retirement. Another major issue is when you choose to claim your benefits. Claiming early at full retirement age or delaying until later all come with permanent consequences. Many people rush to claim as soon as they're eligible because they worry the system won't be there later or because they want the money immediately. But every year you delay beyond your full retirement age increases your benefit for life. If you're on the edge of deciding when to file, the years leading up to 2026 are crucial. Waiting just a little longer could lock in a significantly higher monthly check, while claiming too early could permanently reduce what you receive, no matter how long you live. Taxes are another area where Social Security is quietly changing an impact, even if the rules themselves look the same. The income thresholds that determine whether your benefits are taxed have not kept up with inflation. That means more retirees are paying taxes on their Social Security than ever before, and that trend continues into 2026. If you have other sources of income like pensions, part-time work, or withdrawals from retirement accounts, your Social Security check could be taxed more heavily than you expect. Planning how and when you take other income before 2026 can help reduce that tax bite later, but once you start taking benefits, your flexibility becomes limited. Healthcare costs also play a major role in how Social Security changes affect you. Medicare premiums are typically deducted directly from your Social Security check, and those premiums can rise even when your benefit increase is small. For some retirees, this means their net check barely grows from year to year, even though the gross amount increases. As we move closer to 2026, understanding how Medicare interacts with Social Security is critical. Choosing supplemental coverage, timing enrollment correctly, and avoiding penalties can all protect more of your monthly income, but mistakes can follow you for the rest of your retirement. For those who continue working while receiving Social Security, the earnings rules are another hidden trap. If you claim benefits before reaching full retirement age and earn above certain limits, some of your benefits may be temporarily withheld. While you may get some of that money back later through recalculations, the short-term loss can be painful and confusing. As earnings limits adjust over time, the years before 2026 are a chance to coordinate work income and benefit timing more carefully. Waiting until full retirement age to claim can eliminate these limits entirely, but that decision has to be made with a clear understanding of your income path. Survivor and spousal benefits are also affected by the choices you make now. Many couples don't realize how one person's claiming decision can affect the other for decades. A lower benefit claimed early doesn't just reduce one check, it can reduce the survivor benefit that remains after one spouse passes away. With life expectancy increasing and inflation continuing to pressure household budgets, the difference between a reduced survivor benefit and a maximized one can be the difference between financial security and constant stress. The period before 2026 is an opportunity for couples to coordinate their strategies rather than making isolated decisions that seem harmless at the time. There's also a growing conversation about the long-term funding of Social Security, and while no one can predict exactly what lawmakers will do, uncertainty alone changes behavior. Some people panic and claim early, afraid benefits will disappear, while others delay in hopes of locking in higher amounts. The truth is that changes, if they come, are more likely to affect future retirees than those already receiving benefits. Preparing before 2026 isn't about fear. It's about positioning yourself so that whatever happens, you're less vulnerable. That means understanding your options, knowing your numbers, and avoiding irreversible mistakes. What makes this moment so important is that many Social Security decisions are one-way doors. Once you claim, once you stop working, once you lock in your earnings record, there's very little room to change course. The years leading up to 2026 represent a final stretch where small adjustments can still have an outsized impact. Whether it's working one more year, delaying your claim by a few months, coordinating income sources, or planning for taxes and health care, these steps can add up to a more stable and predictable retirement. Too many people assume Social Security will simply take care of itself, but the reality is that the system rewards those who understand it. The changes coming into effect by 2026 won't announce themselves with dramatic headlines for everyone, but they will show up quietly in monthly deposits, tax bills, and medical deductions. Preparing now isn't about mastering complicated formulas. It's about awareness and timing. Knowing what's changing and how it applies to your situation gives you control instead of leaving your future income to chance. As 2026 approaches, the most dangerous mistake is doing nothing. Waiting until after changes fully settle means reacting instead of planning. Social Security was never designed to be your only source of income, but for many retirees, it is the foundation everything else rests on. Protecting that foundation requires attention now, not later. The clock is moving, the rules are shifting, and the last chance to prepare is happening right now, even if it doesn't feel urgent yet. The choices you make before 2026 will follow you for the rest of your life, and understanding that today could make all the difference tomorrow.